What's good, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and everywhere else you can guys follow us here. Hello, it's your host once again, Preston, or you can call me Drip God, 2Ps_GAWD for my Twitter and Instagram. Here I got my boy Dante with me once again. What's up, D? Let them know where they can find you.
Hey man, y'all can find me on Instagram. Coach Dante 31. Y'all can find me on Twitter. That Coach Dante, that Rockets guy. Man. I'm ready to talk some Rockets.
He is that Rockets guy. Absolutely, indeed.
Yep.
Here, you can also follow this here for free. By the way, for free at H-Town Rundown on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Yeah, man, it's been a good week for playoff talk, playoff ball. I got some exciting news about Tari and Bari, man. That was real cool coming out here, man.
Love it, man. Love it.
Absolutely, man. All right, so yeah, here we are on a lovely Tuesday night. We're on at 10:46 p.m. Let's jump right into it. All right, so we're gonna start with the Rockets rundown. As per usual, we're gonna be talking about more Houston Rockets season grades. This is the last, I repeat, the last bit of all the players for the Houston Rockets roster this season. I can't believe we're already here. Then we'll talk about some other things kind of going on here with playoff news, rookie teams, hint, and all that jazz here. But yeah, and then we're actually going to talk about sneaking some free agency potential acquisitions here. I can't wait. Let's jump right into it, man.
Let's do it.
Let's jump right into it. So you guys know what it is. We're going to start off with your boy, Tari Eason. This man was all rookie second team. He got voted in over, I believe it was Jaden Hardy and Aaron Nesmith from the Pacers. Thank goodness. This man averaged 9 points, 6 boards, and 1 assist. He was one of the only players in the entire league to play all 82 games, let alone rookies to play all 82 games. Man, Tari was awesome. We're going to start with just a couple highlights here. His hustle play, right? We can knock that right out. This man was the dog on the floor at all times. You need some cleanup crew? Tari. You need to poke the ball away? Tari. You need a block? Tari. You needed a board? Tari. Tari Eason was the answer for so much of what we were doing, especially towards the end of the season there where we had Tari Eason starting a few games over Kenyon Martin Jr., who was out, I believe, like either personal reasons and or injury. Tari starred. Tari was phenomenal. And shout out Mama Eason. She always giving her son love 24/7 on Twitter. I loved Eason for this team. And that is why I'm going to give him, especially since he met and went above and beyond expectations for his pick, I'm going to say he's a B+.
Hey, man, I'm going to give him an A, solid A. He went above those expectations. And like I say, coming off the bench, playing all 82 games, man, and for him to come off the bench and be this effective. And many people coming into the draft, coming out of the college question his shooting because his shooting 3-point shot was 36% in college. Well, he shot 34% from three. That's pretty good coming out of the NBA right there. So that shows you the man can shoot. He has no problem being tough, guarding the number one player. And he in some elite company, man, on the defensive side of the ball as well, man. With 80 plus rebounds, 40 plus steals in a season. He in a great group with Scottie Pippen, them with 8-time all defensive player, man. As a legend, that's solid, man. He went beyond expectations and averaging 9 points a game off the bench. 6 rebounds off the bench. Imagine if he starts. Imagine if he starts, that could be at least 8 or 9 rebounds off of as a starter. So I'm gonna give him a solid A. He met beyond expectations, like you say. He became all rookie second team. For him to be on the second team, for me as a bench player, that's a hell of an accomplishment. And we got guys, I don't care what it is, as a rookie on the second team. We got 2 of our young guys on that rookie second team. That shows you what type of players they're going to be, what type of future we're going to have. So I'm going to give him a solid A.
That is an absolute fantastic rating. And yeah, I mean, for him to join Scottie Pippen, who is an 8-time all-defensive guy, I mean, wow. And again, I just want to speculate. Off the bench, bro.
Off the bench, man. Off the bench.
And Most importantly, he has Silas.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I just cannot wait for Udoka to use it.
Yeah. He gonna turn him into something, man. He gonna turn him into one of them players, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's just so much potential with him too. I
Yep.
mean, the reason why I gave him a B plus instead of an A is because bro could not make layups save his life. Now,
Yep.
starting to towards the end of the season, so I did like that. But if I'm grading him from overall for the whole season, he could not finish a gosh dang layup for his life.
Yep.
There was just nothing you could have done, you know. But yeah, B plus A. That's absolutely fine to me.
Yep.
Wow, love Tari, man. Love Tari.
Love him, bro. Love him every time he get in the game. Love him.
Oh my gosh. We're gonna move on here to KJ Martin. Now, heading into the season, we actually heard trade rumors. Him and his dad were going at it. We did think that he was going to be traded. It was at least a possibility that the Rockets would have let him go. We had traded away Christian Wood on draft night. KJ Martin was talking about how he wants a bigger role, how he wants to start, how he thinks he deserves to be a more focal point of the offense. But a lot of that energy was coming from his dad, right? His dad was talking about how he needed to be, well, he could be a 20 points per game scorer if he wanted to be, yada, yada, yada. But, you know, Pops is just trying to talk you up, right? You know, as a family man myself, I understand you got to overhype and gas up your kid, your brother, your sister, your family, because that's just what you do for family, you know? However, KJ had a solid season, right? He still ended up putting up 12.7 points per game. We can round it up to 13 points per game, 5 boards for a 6'7" man, 1.5 assists for being almost never in the offense itself. That was pretty nice to see here. Something I really liked about KJ was his high flying ability. It was unfortunate that he did not win the dunk contest, but Mac McClung came out of nowhere from the G League and decided to go crazy. So, I mean, what can you do at that point? What can you do? However, KJ this season ended up shooting 68% from the free throw line. Was not great. He hasn't been a great free throw shooter at all. However, his highest was his rookie season, shooting almost 72%. So he's gone down, gone back up, and gone down once again. He did average the most assists in his career so far as a third year. That's great. The least amount of steals at half a steal a game. And again, the least amount of blocks per game at 0.4 blocks per game. Average the highest amount of turnovers per game, which is fine because it's just one. That's absolutely okay. But something that shocked me, he shot 68% on twos. 68% from 2-point range.
Well, that's a alley-oops and those dunk shots. Those alley-oops and the dunks.
Man, that's something to really think about when we're utilizing him. However, his overall effective field goal percentage takes an absolute tank when you look at his 3-point percentage, 31.5%. Something that he was really seen as his first 2 seasons was a 3-point shooter, and you saw that absolutely trickle down. He only shooting half a 3 a game and still making the same amount, about 0.8. He went from 37% his rookie season all the way down to 31.5%. So that was a really sad hit. But his overall field goal percentage still went up to 57% to bring his effective field goal percentage up to 62%, just about 61.7. So I will say, KJ Martin, for your role, for the expectations were coming in, you're going to get a B-. I would have loved to have seen the free throw shooting and the 3-point shooting go up, especially as many open looks as you were getting. But sometimes it just happens that, you end up not having a great shooting time. Like Jae'Sean Tate, who was supposed to be a knockout 3-point shooter this season, ended up shooting 28% from 3. It just happens. It happens. So, yeah, KJ, you're B-, but you had a good season.
Yeah, I'll say again, someone that wanted to become a starter, but like you said, his dad was implementing that in his head. KJ had a solid season, man. I mean, 31%. I'm expecting him probably next year if we do end up keeping him. I don't expect him to start next year. I think he will still end up with the same role coming off the bench. But other than that, I need that 3-point to go up higher. I need that at least at about 34 some percent. If he gets that to at least 34%, that 13 points per game will turn into at least 15 a game every single night. But other than that, I like him. I'm on target with you. I give him a B. He plays solid. Definitely. But if he's going to be in the game, like I say again, Again, when he's in the game with someone like Alp or Jabari Smith, he plays the 4. I'm gonna need him to rebound a little bit better too, for his athletic ability. But I think this is a solid season for KJ and now that we got a better head coach, someone that led his team to a championship, someone that knows what he's doing, he's gonna get the best about KJ Martin. So I'm gonna give him a B. I'm with you. I'm gonna give him a B.
Yeah, and that's a good grade for you. KJ, again, appreciate you. Love you, man. Hopefully you don't get too big-headed this offseason and request a trade again. But we'll see what happens, won't we? So moving on here, we're going to move on to Eric Gordon, man. Previous three-point champion, previous Sixth Man of the Year. I was really rooting for the Clippers before, Kawhi and Paul George ended up going out sad. I loved Eric Gordon, but for this season, he mainly played shooting guard. He played 47 games for us, so I'm utilizing these stats filtered out. He shot 44% from the field, 35% from 3, and he shot 53% on 2s, which is really nice to see. However, my boy's free throw shooting did take a solid hit compared to last season. Not that big of a hit, but still noticeable as it was. He shot 81% from the free throw line on 3 attempts. So great, but he went over to the Clippers and ended up shooting almost 85% from the free throw line. So a lot of his stats, I would say, ended up took a hit essentially because he was just tired, right? Tired of losing. He was the vet, he was disgruntled a little bit. We know with the John Wall interview that we keep coming back to that, Eric Gordon probably felt some type of way about that, perhaps in some sort of agreement in terms of KPJ and Jalen Green just being handed everything instead of having to work for it. So I'd say Eric Gordon, for the most part, handled his, did his business. He played well for a veteran. We can obviously see flashes of flashes of Eric Gordon in Josh Christopher, rather, when they play. I mean, I've said it time and time again, Josh Christopher could end up being Eric Gordon 2.0. The way that they play is just so phenomenal. Josh Christopher has just got a much better handle on the ball and not as good defensively. So we will see what ends up happening here. But Eric Gordon, I'm still going to give you a B minus, simply because your role wasn't to come in and score. And even though you did at 13 points a game, you were just asked to be a leader and have almost no role in the actual offense, except when Steven Silas wanted to go for a quick 6 seconds or less offense with you towards the end of the shot clock. And then, as Silas stated multiple times, you were like kind of his bailout man, and played point Gordon for some reason. And we know through history that that's not exactly the best way to play Eric Gordon. But you were utilized in terms of your strengths, and you played well. So I'm gonna go with the B minus.
I'm gonna go also. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give Eric Gordon a B plus just for sticking in there with us and being kind of like a professional in the locker room that we kind of know from just hanging in, man, mentoring the young guys a little bit just for his time. When we was on a block of trading him and we couldn't get what we wanted, he stayed here. We kept him here. He did not complain about it. He just went out there and played basketball like a professional supposed to. I didn't really hear no rumblings of him in the locker room being a locker room cancer at all. So and like I say, he went out there, played every night, competed every single night. I'm gonna give him a B plus. I really like Eric Gordon. And, someone like that, you hope he wins a championship down the line in his career because he is an ultimate professional. He does whatever it takes to win a game. I just like Eric Gordon, man. I just like Eric Gordon. He's one of my favorite guys. And since we got him as a Rocket, I loved it when we got him as a Rocket. But other than that, I'm going to give him a B plus, man. I'm going to give him a B plus. I think he was fine with us.
Oh man, Dante a little bit higher on him than I was. B plus a little too high for me, bro. But respectfully, I understand. Eric Gordon deserves his flowers, right? And at the end of the day, he was a good soldier, right? He was a good tank commander, and he did what was necessary. And I'm at least glad that he didn't pull a John Wall and cry his way out of the situation. He stayed stuck with it and was going down with the ship 100%. So
that's why I gave him a B plus, just because of his professionalism in the locker room, and you didn't hear him complain about him. You didn't never hear him complain about it. So I kind of one-upped him a little bit for that. Fair. I appreciate it for what he did, and how he stuck in there with us.
Absolutely. Eric Gordon, I do hope you end up winning a championship. I might as well go over to the Clippers next season so that way you can create Houston Rockets 2018 2.0. But instead of Chris Paul, we got Joel Embiid. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that season. We'll talk about that later. I'm going to move on to the final person on this page here, Jabari Smith Jr., the third overall pick, supposed to be KD light. He had a lot of expectations coming into the season. And I personally did fall into that trap as well of having some sort of expectation on this kid. But we got to remind ourselves, he's only 19 years old. I mean, his birthday is literally in 4 days. He's going to be 20 soon. He's still a rookie. And as your boy Silas used to say, we barely run any plays for him. He averaged 13 points a game and 7 rebounds and 1.3 assists. Right. He played almost 80 games. He played 79 games this season as well. So only missed 3 games, which is nice because the best ability is availability. And that'll be great going forward. He was a 47.5% effective field goal guy, which is all right. He only ended up shooting 31% from the field from 3. That was absolutely putrid. However, at the beginning of the season, it was around the 18-19%. So to be able to uptick it towards the end of the season, there was some fantastic offensive displays and some clutch shooting, game winners, game tying buckets, OT shots. He was able to bring it up to 31%. So we hope that the end of last season, or this season, I guess, for us, carries over to next season, and we can see that growth continue to uptick. However, he ended up shooting 40% from the field, which is not great. He shot 78.6% from free throw, which saved his effective field goal percentage there, which is really nice. He averaged half a steal and almost a block a game. I'm really surprised he didn't average more than 0.9 blocks a game because I feel like dude was blocking 4 or 5 shots every night. But his defensive his presence was felt so much. I mean, we remember that game with Giannis when he became the locksmith. Held Giannis to, I think it was 2 for 9 when he guarded him on what was 7 points.
Yeah, 7 points when he guarded him. He was big time against Giannis.
Oh my goodness. That's probably one of my favorite games from Jabari all season long. Just holding that man. I also got a vendetta against Giannis as it is. But it was great to see a locksmith come out. Jabari, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to give you a C+, just because expectations were so high. Not to your fault, but they were just so high for you to come in, especially at the 3rd pick. And I mean, you fell all the way down to, ended up being one of the worst players in the entire league for a time there. And then you're able to bring yourself up a lot towards the last half of the season at post All-Star game. Jabari was just absolutely phenomenal. He had 3 20 and 10 games back to back, first time since Shaq, I believe, back in the day. And I mean, the stats he put up, joining Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaq, and DeMarcus Cousins on multiple other accolades throughout his season was fantastic. And that's what brought him back up to that C+ rating that I'm giving him. And again, he did end up making all rookie second team with his buddy Tari. So the Tari Bari twins were able to come back in some sort of way. Jabari, I apologize, but that C+ rating is going to stick with me.
I'm going to give him a B, because it's how he finished the season. Now, if it was the first part of the season, then he would have had a C. It's plus you got the expectations as a 3rd overall pick. That's even more pressure, but it's how he finished the season. How he gained more confidence when he shot the basketball. How he had multiple 20-point games, 10 rebound games. Like I say, due to the fact he did make he had a struggling season, but he still made all rookie second team. So again, that's a great accomplishment. That shows you how great he did in the back half of the season. You remember Jalen Green last year, had a piss poor start. Similar start to Jabari Smith.
Yep.
It was a game that he had only 1 point against Golden State. If he didn't have 1 point against Golden State, we beat Golden State in Golden State that year. And from that Orlando Magic game until the All-Star break, Jalen Green was the best rookie last year after the All-Star break, especially after the All-Star break. From the middle of the All-Star break and after the All-Star break, he was the best rookie. So, like I say, got to give Jabari Smith the B. He finished the season very strong. Is very consistent. Knocked down a big time 3-pointer against New Orleans, which was the game winner.
True.
Showed he had some clutch gene. He had clutch gene in Indiana as well, tying the game up. And he also had some big moments. Shared some big moments as well. He struggled at the beginning of the season. He couldn't find his shot. His shot didn't quite translate to the NBA. But him just to raise that 3-point shooting up to 31%, that's pretty good. That shows you he got to get back in the gym in that offseason. And he's going to, I believe next year, he's going to shoot more than 31%. He's going to at least see that 3-point shooting up to at least 36, 37% next year. So I'm expecting him to go 5 points up more. I'm expecting it to go 5 points up more. And I believe Jabari Smith's actually a better shooter than 31%. But I'm going to actually give him a B. For finishing off the season real strong. To have that slow of a season and be the worst player in NBA basketball from the first part, then you mature and you come up in the second half of the season, you still make an all-rookie team. That's something special right there in Jabari Smith. So I'm going to give him a solid B for how he finished the season.
That's absolutely fair. Let me change mine because you bring up a lot of points. I'm just gonna bring them up just one letter grade, just do a B- here. I just really didn't appreciate how he started the season. That was really rough. But he finished the season strong. And I mean, I don't know if we've seen more growth from a player from the beginning of the season to the end of the season to grow that much as a rookie, let alone in a single season. If we're doing that stretch alone, that's most improved. Right, he found his groove towards the end there, and like you were talking about, just accolade after accolade, shot after shot. He got comfortable. He ended up finding some good spots. He found his spots, and he was able to do that turnaround jumper we were waiting him to do all season. And then he realized Bo was almost 7 foot tall against 6'2" dudes. He's got to finish over him. But yeah, I'm officially giving him a B- just because. Just the season, man. It was very up and down. Jalen Green.
I mean, I agree with you. That's the expectations when you come as a third overall pick. When you come as a hot pick, you got a lot of expectations. When you come in that top 5 pick, you got a lot of high expectations. They expected you to do well, but from what he came from in the beginning of the season, for being putrid and then coming up and having all these accolades, when you in an elite company like Hakeem, one of probably the best Rocket of all time. When you in some company with one of those guys, that shows you what potential you got and how great you've been throughout the second half of the season. And he was able to have finish the second half strong, hot. He finished it real strong and hot. Even though I think most of that too was him being unconfident, and a lot of it was coaching. Because he didn't get a lot of plays run down from him. He didn't get a lot of pin downs run from him. Most of the time, he had to do pick and pop and stand by the perimeter while Kevin Porter and Jalen Green do their own thing at times. But again, he's finished the season really, really strong. And he already accepted accountability. I remember it was one interview. It was a practice interview. And he was getting on it. He was holding himself accountable because, again, he didn't set the tone on the defensive side. And he felt like he should have set the tone. He got to set the tone on the defensive side. That's shown that he's willing to step up and he's willing to be a leader on this team and hold himself accountable.
Yeah, and that's absolutely a fantastic point there. I like that little tidbit there. I mean, and him being a defensive leader, right? Him being a defensive voice, a defensive anchor is what's going to lead this team to potential championship someday. Hopefully a playoff run next season, but time will tell. That was a good way to end it. I like that. I'm going to move on to the next slide. The last 3 players, you guys already know who we start with here. Alperen Sengun. Woo! What wasn't to like about this guy this season? 15 points per game, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Wasn't even supposed to be a starter. They tried to start Bruno Fernando over him at the beginning of the season. I mean, spoiler alert, I'm giving him an A, right? There wasn't anything Alperen couldn't do this season. I mean, there's times where he's guarding the perimeter like he's Draymond Green. He's out here actually doing hustle plays, right? His defense will come, right? I firmly believe he'll be a better defensive center coming in soon here. But, I mean, it only took 3 games before the Houston Rockets realized, oh, Bruno, you're hurt? Get out of here. Alperen, yeah. And then after Bruno came back, he did not start again. It was just great to see. Alperen Şengün ended up shooting 33% from three. That was really great. He ended up becoming more confident as the season went on. From three, he wasn't just standing there doing some action and running plays. He was more confident and ready to take these catch and shoot threes, and then let alone, just ended up shooting a lot more threes as it was, right? He did shoot 57% from 2-point range, which is really good as a center. He only shot 55% total, but his free throw shooting was 71.5%. So it did uptick from last season at 71.1%, up a full 0.4%, which is really nice to see. He's one of the first centers, or youngest center ever, to average almost 4 assists. He came in at 3.9 assists per game for this age as a center. It's also great to know. He also averaged 0.9 steals and 0.9 blocks a game. That was kind of Hakeem numbers, right? Just Hakeem light. Not quite a steal and a block a game. We would love to see that uptick more next season, at least 1.2 blocks per game. But we're not talking about next season. We're talking about now. LP, again, an A, just a masterclass of a season. Career high, I think 17 rebounds. That was a 35 and 17 and 5 against the Lakers in that W against Anthony Davis. Oh my goodness. What did this kid do that you didn't like? Right.
Yep. I'm going with you, man. I'm going to give him an A. I thought he did a very good job. Like I said, I said multiple times on this cast, I think he's our best player. Best basketball player. I think Jalen Green is a better scorer. Is our best scorer before his basketball player, creating shots for everybody, running the offense through him. I think he's our best player. I think he's our best player, high basketball IQ. When you're open, he's going to definitely find you. Man, how many sick passes that he had this year was just crazy good how well he passed the ball, man. And if we was a little bit of a better shooting team and had more shooters out there, this guy can at least have Jokic numbers. If we had a little bit of a better shooting team, if teams didn't run a lot of zone on us, which is they did. But other than that, this man deserves it. I mean, he competes on the defensive side. He ain't the greatest defender, but he does compete on the defensive side of the ball as well. So I got to give LP an A, man. I think he did pretty well. I think he did a great job this year. I think he assisted well. He scored very well. And I was happy at the end of the season that he was taking those 3-pointers with some confidence, man. So LP get an A for me, man. I really like how he plays. And to me, man, he's our best basketball player.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not one to argue with that. Personally, obviously, I'm a little biased here. I think Jalen is still our best player overall. However, I won't argue if someone says Alperen Şengün or, spoiler alert, Kevin Porter Jr. I mean, it's really between those three at this point, but LP just deserved all the flowers. And I think he ended up winning Pass of the Year this season, the Pass Highlight of the Year, which is great to see. I mean, any accolade we can get as a Houston Rockets, it means the world. But let alone just seeing Alperen win anything, is just, this kid's gonna go so far, man. I'm so excited, especially since Udoka and the Boston Celtics wanted to take Alperen Şengün if they were able to draft him. It's just great to see that not only did we get him, we also got a finals head coach that wants this guy already. And Udoka believes in us as a team. Believes in the culture that he's going to bring in, and then believes in, our core pieces. I cannot wait to see what he's going to do with Alperen Şengün. But yeah, an A, bro. Just it's a fantastic guy. All right, I'll move on here to my GOAT, my guy, Jalen Green. Most 40-point games in this class, most 30-point games in this class, most 25 points games in his class, most 20 points in his class. Jalen Green averaged 22.1 points per game, 3.7 assists, 3.7 rebounds. So, 22, 4, and 4. The only other people that average that, minus some specific greats here: Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, James Harden. You hear me now? Okay. Where did you hear me cut out?
You say he was in a company with Michael Jordan or something like that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. AD from where I say elite company all the way till now, edit out. All right. 3, 2, 1. So yeah, Jalen Green here just add absolutely some elite company here, right? I mean, from Kobe Bryant to Donovan Mitchell to Devin Booker, Jalen Green, 22, 4-4, just an absolutely phenomenal stat to put up in a second year with Steven Silas as your coach. I just want to put that out there. I want to stress that, guys. 22, 4-4 with Silas as your coach. You got point Eric Gordon. Your point guard KPJ only played 59 games. And you got to run point guard. He got thrown into the fire. Jalen played at least 7 games playing point guard this season. And no one expected him to be a playmaker. Except he did. And he was. All the stats increased. Obviously, Christian Wood isn't here, so you're going to see an uptick. But he increased his points per game by 5. He increased his steals per game by 0.1. Not a great amount, but trust me, it means a lot for Jalen Green to be getting more steals. He averaged more rebounds, more assists. His free throw percentage did go down to 78.6 from 80%. That's fine. That's not much of a difference. That's just a 1% difference. His 2-point percentage and his field goal percentage, that's what we're going to talk about. This is what's going to ultimately affect his grade for me personally. He shot 34% from 3. That's not that big difference from his original percentage, which is 34.3. I'm fine with that. As a 34% shooter, as a shooting guard, taking 7 threes a game. Okay. He was making 2.5 on 7 threes a game. Just want to put that out there, guys. It's pretty good numbers if you ask me. However, 47% from 2-point range and 41.6 for total field goal percentage, bringing his effective field goal percentage down to 48.5%. Rough, man. Real rough. His enormous stats from physical stats look great. But when you get down to the nitty-gritty and you look at the exact percentages, that's what hurts him. So Jalen, for me, is going to be at a B. He improved like we asked him to. He stepped into a role that we asked him to last second. He was able to pick up where KPJ was gone. He picked up the Christian Wood slack, thank gosh. And then when LP didn't play, Jalen was the focal point of the entire offense, and he still excelled. One thing I want to point out is when he had like 11 points against the Timberwolves, right? They locked him up. They clamped him. Next game, dropped a career high 41 points. That's what I love to see, is that Jalen Green took the time to understand, like, okay, they guarded me here. They were doing this to me. Boom, I got to make an adjustment. And him and Silas did. They actually did. That was one of the few things I would credit Silas for, is the adjustment he made that next game against the Timberwolves. Absolutely came out and smacked him. Jalen Green, you were a B. I wish you could have been better. If you can get those percentages up, get your field goal percentage up to about 44, 45%. Oh, my gosh. I can only imagine what I'd be saying about you.
If he had some good efficiency every single night, I would actually give him an A, but I'm gonna give him a B+ for how he handled things, how things was actually handled. But like I say, most of these guys, it was coaching, most of these guys. But I thought, seeing the numbers improve. Jalen Green, shot 34% from 3 last year. Now he's down to 33. Pretty old solid. I gotta figure he's gonna get that up at least to 35 next year. If he gets that up to about 35, man, that man's gonna average at least 27 per game. Yeah. And first thing Ime Udoka said about Jalen Green, I think he had about 8 threes against us. So he definitely remember how good Jalen Green was against the Boston Celtics the year that he coached against them. But again, assist numbers definitely went up. I like that. Him being a willing passer. Kind of want to see more of that. Rebounding edge. Like it. He's athletic. He's a lot athletic. Want to kind of see him go up to at least 5 assists, 5 rebounds per game. I mean, I want to see him get better, a little more better on the defensive side of the ball. I know most of that because he is kind of small a little bit, but he is 6'6" and athletic, so he should be able to play some very good defense on that end. He competes very well. I see it. He competes very well, really, really competitive. But that athleticism can take him a long way. But I'm gonna give him a B. Actually, give him a B+, man. I thought he did really good. The numbers improved. Just the efficiency. If he can shoot better, if he can make better decisions on shooting the basketball and stuff like that, and get more efficient he will be fine. I think Jalen Green will be fine. And like I say, that's why we had to move on from Coach Steven Silas. I won't say he doesn't know how to coach. He doesn't know how to be a head coach in the league. He's just not a head coach in this league. That's just all it is.
Absolutely. I do know that we've heard rumblings about the Boston Celtics being interested in Coach Steven Silas, and I think it'd be a fantastic assistant coach or an offensive coordinator.
Yes.
Yep.
I think it'd be fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Jalen, again, efficiency just up, just a little bit more, Yeah, yeah, man. I can only imagine what I'd be saying right now. We're asking for a 3% difference, and yet again, a lot of it is coaching, and like last second heaves. Shooting a lot of like half court shots because he's getting the ball with 2 seconds left on the clock and he's got to fire it up. I do know that takes an effect. And then also Steven Silas's rotations at the end of the season or towards the middle of the season before the All-Star game. Goodness. His rotations before the All-Star game. I mean, Jalen Green was getting hot. He'd have like 11, 12, 13-point first quarters. And then Silas would sub him out with 5 minutes left. And then put him back in with 5 minutes left in the second half. And he'd go 1 for 5 after that, And then second half, he's getting 2 shots. And there were too many games where we, have him out in the fourth quarter and he's getting 1-2 shots max. Or there was one game we went to OT, I believe, and he shot the ball once from the fourth quarter, from the 8-minute mark all the way through overtime to finish. He shot the ball once. That's unacceptable, But we will move on from that. Jalen, I hope for a fruitful and growing season next year. I cannot wait to see you average 25 points per game next season. It's going to be absolutely beautiful.
That's going to be beautiful, man.
Now we're going to end off with the Houston Rockets season grades here with Kevin Porter Jr. I'm not a point guard. Bro averaged 59 points per game, or 59 points per game. He played 59 points. He averaged 19.2 points per game, which is really solid as a second, third option, sometimes even a fourth option. He did average 5 rebounds a game and almost 6 assists. However, his assists are down from even his 2020-2021 season here. They are down all the way to 5.7 from 6. So that's all right. But he was playing point guard, so you expected those assists to end up going up, especially since the beginning of the season. I don't know if you guys remember, he did say he wanted to average 10 assists a game. That ended up not happening. Obviously, he only averaged half of what he said he wanted to. But again, he's young. Silas, I hate saying Silas because it feels like such a scapegoat. But I mean, once we get Udoka out there, mate, y'all know what we're talking about. Y'all know what we're talking about. But as terms of the efficiency numbers, again, 78% from the free throw line on 4.5 attempts. It's pretty good. It's pretty solid. He was 50% on twos, which we really like to see. He was 44% on his total field goal percentage, which is an absolute increase from 41.5% last season. So he's gotten better overall than last season. And he was also a 36% shooter, shooting less threes, making slightly less, but that's fine. I'll take 36.6 and 37.5% from him any day. But as it pertains to KPJ, I'm feeling a B+, right? And not that I'm gonna sit here and say that, it's because he didn't play well as a point guard. Yeah, he didn't play well as a point guard. We understand that. I understand the expectation for him was to come in and thrive and be a willing passer. And at times he was. I mean, he had multiple games where he had a double-double between points and assists. He had a triple-double this season, if you guys forget. KPJ did it all, would do it all. He was just hurt in and out of the lineup, and then inconsistencies, not necessarily even through his own play, but Silas. And again, too many games where he's getting 2, 3, 4 shots in the entire second half. Players cannot take 12 shots in the first half and then take 2 shots in the second half. That's not how it works. A player cannot stay in rhythm, stay hot, and it affects their entire mental ability. If they played well through the first half, then now you don't shoot the ball in the entire third quarter and you got to play in the fourth quarter. You're like, well, why am I even out here? Why am I even going to play defense if I can't get the ball and shoot, And then he ends up doing his hands on his hips, standing in the corner, Ultimately, I want to say B+, but we have to bring him down to a B because of the hands on the hips, the lack of defensive ability, and then again the assists. The assist turnover ratio is turnovers did get worse this season than last season. So he increased in turnovers and decreased in total assists. So I would like for him to work on that. But coming into the next season, we don't know what the lineup is even going to look like. So depending on what we're asked of him for next season will depend on the opinion of what we need to have for him next year. However, we're going to end off with a B.
Definitely agree with you. 1,000%. If he actually played the whole season and wasn't hurt a lot, I would actually give him an A. And he showed more fight on the defensive side of the ball instead of when he's not getting the ball, how he always puts his hand on his hips and not caring about the game because he still got that attitude up in him a little bit. I can't give him an A for it. I can't do it. Plus, combined misses too many games, turn the ball over a lot. The assist numbers. I know he's natural. He's a natural shooting guard. He's a natural combo guard. He's not really even a point guard, but you playing in the point guard spot. Again, if we were a better shooting team, he may have more assists, average more assists a game, and we were actually a better shooting team. But other than that, he's got to get a B. He's got to get a B minus, like you said. Sometimes he showed a lot of lack of effort on the defensive side of the ball when he's not getting the ball. He seems to give up on plays, not caring. And I need you to give it 100% every single night. And plus his combined not being on the court a lot, that kind of hurt him. But I like the 3-point shooting, 36%. That's pretty good, man. That's damn good. 36%. Yes. That's down than 4% shot of 40, been an elite 3-point shooting range. So I like that 36% shooting, 78% from the free throw line. You shoot 36%. I expect that to kind of be like in the 80 range area if you shoot 36% from downtown a little bit. But other than that, I kind of like it. But like you said, B minus because again, lack of effort on the basketball, a willingness, to be a lot ball dominant sometime, dominant sometime. And when he's not getting the ball, he shows disinterest a lot of times. So yeah, B minus. He had a very good season, 19 points per game. That's really good. But hey, again, Ime Udoka is going to change all those attitudes and stuff and get a lot of those players up out of there that don't want to play basketball and get some fresh ones in here in free agency that's going to help this team out and get some veteran leaders in here.
Oh, yeah, and I cannot wait to talk about free agency with you. I got a couple ideas. But yeah, so that's going to wrap it up for our Houston Rockets player season grades. Now, next pod, we're going to be talking about the front office, coaching, and all that jazz. But for right now, we are absolutely done with all of our players. Thank you guys for letting us know and sharing your thoughts about the player grades. We're going to move on here now to the playoff talk. Oh, my goodness. 3-1 Heat. 3-2 Sixers, tied Nuggets and Suns, 3-1 Lakers. Golden State potentially can lose in the playoffs for the first time in Curry's career. I just want to put that in everyone's head. This will be the first time Curry has made it to the second round and will lose. The God I've been praying to is good. I cannot wait for Curry to be at home or in Cancun. He got put up by LeBron James. Now, do I want LeBron to win a chip? No, because I want James Harden to win a chip. I want Joel Embiid to win a chip. So, sorry, Bron. You can make it to the finals again, but Sixers going to win it all. James Harden also ended up with 17, 7, and 10 this game. Shot over 50% from the field as per usual. He only took 8 shots, so that's all right. Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, though, were the talk of the show there. Both had 30 points. Joel with 33 and 7 boards with 4 blocks on top of a clutch block after a horrible turnover. He recovered. The Heat, Knicks. I really wanted the Knicks to win, so the Sixers had an easy path to the finals, but it's going to be a bloodbath, that looks like. And as for the Nuggets and Suns, I really don't care about who comes out of there. I like Chris Paul, but I mean, I want James Harden to win, so I really don't care what happens in the West.
Definitely. By the way, the Nuggets about to win that game, so that will be up 3-2 on the Suns going to Phoenix. Like I said, I got the Nuggets in 6 games winning that series. So hopefully they close it out in Phoenix. Or if not, they go back. I got the Nuggets winning the series anyway. But other than that, I still got Boston winning the series. I still got Boston beating 76ers in the series. I think they go to Philadelphia. They pull out a win. They pull out a win. They win 2 straight. But I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, man, if Philadelphia close it out at home. James Harden, if they'd lost this game, they would have killed James Harden, bro. They would have killed him. If it wasn't for Maxine and Embiid went out, they would have killed James Harden. Oh, he got 17 points. He ain't show up. But you look at his efficiency, he shot 50% from the field.
Yes.
They didn't need him tonight. They needed Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. Tobias Harris played well. In Miami Heat, man, they got a bunch of defensive dogs on that team, man. You talking about someone, I mean, they may got the worst roster, in this playoffs, and you would think the Knicks more talented. The one thing about Miami, they got better culture. They got a better coach. They got a better GM. They better in organization all across the board. They got one of the top organizations in the league. And plus they're a big name market. Man, Caleb Martin is a dog. Highsmith, all of those guys is a dog.
Gabe Vincent.
You got Gabe Vincent, man. You don't got big name players on that team, and you really don't need big name players. You need players that want to go out there and compete and work. In Miami, they don't make nothing easier for you, man. That is hard to score against when you got Brunson, Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle a lot. And I think the Knicks need to consider trading Julius Randle because I think he hurts their offensive lot. Because sometimes he likes to play me basketball. He likes to play do your thing basketball. And I think it gets in the way of RJ Barrett a lot, someone that they paid that big time contract to in the offseason where they could have had Donovan Mitchell, but they did not want to trade RJ Barrett or put Quentin Grimes in the deal. That's why they didn't end up getting him. That's why Cleveland ended up getting him. But other than that, I think Julius Randle ends up hurting the New York Knicks more than he's helping the New York Knicks. In Miami, it may the way it looked, it may be Miami and Philadelphia in the Eastern Conference Finals, man. And don't be surprised if Miami beat Philadelphia in the Eastern Conference Finals because again, Jimmy Butler is a top 15 player in the regular season, but when he gets in the playoffs, he's an all-world player. He's a whole different player, and that's what you need out of your superstar, Jimmy Butler. And Bam Adebayo gives you the playmaking, the rebound, and the scoring, the assists. He gives you everything. But that Miami Heat culture. You see why a lot of people, tough guys, go over there in the Miami Heat because Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra, they know how to coach. They know how to coach some game of basketball. They know how to coach the game of basketball.
Yeah, 100%. That's absolutely right. I mean, Butler, he could even play make. I think he had 10 assists the night before, which is nice to see. And I mean, Bam, like you said, he gives you everything. He had a triple-double just a few games ago. Like, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I thought the Bucks were going to sweep the Heat and go on to face the Knicks, right? I was right about the Knicks. I didn't know that the Heat were going to gentlemen sweep the Bucks. The Heat beat the Bucks so bad, they fired their coach who just won them a chip 2 years ago. Bro, oh my gosh.
But I always knew something. You know what I always knew? I always say, if Miami ever gets in any type of playoff scenario, them guys know how to step it up another notch.
Oh, yeah.
Now, everybody was saying what was going on with them in the regular season and stuff like that. But in the playoffs, this team is solely different, man. In a 7-game series, Eric Spoelstra know how to put together a game plan and adjust. And that's one thing about Miami, man. They play hard, man. They play hard.
Yeah, they play beyond hard, man. I mean, you got Jordan reincarnate over there on the Heat. And then Bam Adebayo playing like Scottie Pippen. And then, dude, I got no words for the Heat, man. If I'm the Sixers or even the Celtics, whoever wins out of the season, man, I'm scared. I really thought whoever won the Sixers-Celtics series, once they ended up getting there, it was going to be a cakewalk, right? I was like, yep, it doesn't matter. And then Butler drops 56 and another 40-point game, goes crazy, has a 26 and 12. Like, Butler. Bro, calm down. I need you to stay at home.
Hey, they beat him so bad they have Giannis questioning his future.
Oh my gosh. Did you see that post?
Yeah.
Oh man, the disrespect needs to stop. Bro, if you request a trade and you go to Golden State, I am done watching basketball.
Oh my goodness.
I am done watching basketball.
I'm telling you, it made that man question his future. Do he want to be in Milwaukee? Milwaukee. So my Milwaukee kind of down bad a little bit, man.
Oh yeah, they down tremendously bad, especially trading for All-Star Drew Holiday. Now, remind me, Drew Holiday was an All-Star over James Harden. That's right. That's right. And people can argue Jalen Brunson is making a case right now for having to be an all-star. I mean, 20 points per game in the regular season is phenomenal as it is. Making $100 million a year. I would hope he's averaging 20 points per game, or 100 million contract, making 20 million a year. I would hope he's, averaging that many points per game. But Brunson completely changed the dynamic of the Knicks, right? I'm not going to sit here and say, like, I'm Stephen A. and I understand the Knicks, because I really don't. I don't watch too much Knicks basketball. And I really didn't know that Brunson was like this until I started watching him in the playoffs. Bro is smooth. I don't know how in the world the Mavs lost this man. Like, they they got sold. The Knicks played them, bro.
Yeah. Well, the word about that situation, he didn't get Dallas a meeting. Because his dad is an assistant coach for the Knicks, so he didn't even get Dallas a meeting. He already had his mind made where he was going already. So Dallas definitely missed him. But again, Jalen Brunson brought out a whole new New York Knicks team. It's just, I think Julius Randle kind of hurts the team a little bit. With his play of him, kind of wanted to be a number one option when he's clearly not a number one option on a championship contending team. So, it's almost like Dallas didn't even have a shot. Jalen Brunson already knew what he wanted to do. He knew his dad was going to be assistant coach for the New York Knicks. He didn't get Dallas a meeting at all. He didn't get him a meeting at all.
Excuse me. Yeah, I didn't end up knowing that part there. That's unfortunate, man, for the Mavs. And then, again, to get Kyrie Irving and not even make the playoffs is just absolutely hilarious. And then now we come to the 76ers and Celtics series. I mean, James Harden went off game one, 45 on almost 80%, 86 true shooting percentage. Absolutely otherworldly there, hitting a game winner and all that. Then he has two future games against the Celtics back to back, and the Celtics ended up coming home. They thought they were going to get an easy dub the game before this one, and James Harden had to go off for 42 clutch free throw floater at the free throw line over three Celtics defenders and Embiid essentially, and then hitting the game-winning three to seal the deal. Right, what it looks like is the formula for this game to try to stop James Harden was to not let him get as many shots. And it didn't matter because they let Tyrese Maxey shoot, and he had 30 points at half, 5 3-pointers. That's what happens. Now, the thing about Maxey, like I talked about last time, is Maxey sells so much. So many last-minute turnovers, so many fouls back to back to back. And, I mean, bro will just – man makes 2 shots and thinks he Curry and then – comes off a screen and fires that thing up. I like the confidence. I really love the confidence that TM got. But, bro, please stop selling, bro. Because, game 4, they're going to have to play like it's game 7. Yep. Sixers and Celtics playing like it's game 7 right there. And Maxey, bro, I swear, man, if I see you pulling him from half court again, bro, I don't know. I might just turn the TV off. And I would like to give a special shout out to PJ Tucker. I understand that Jason Tatum ended up having a good game. Bro was shooting yet again 1 for 9 until he started getting all these free throws. 1 for 9. PJ Tucker is just, I know he's not ever going to win an award, but man, he's the best defensive player, bro.
Hey man, that dude is a leader, bro. That dude is a leader. You getting on the MVP on behind and making them right. That's a leader, man. That's a person that deserves to have a technical foul because how much hard he plays. He play hard every possession. You see who's the first one always diving for a loose ball? It's that dude right there. And he has a nose for that basketball. He's always around the basketball no matter what. We're not going to talk about that when they were down 105 to 102 in game number 4, how he got that big rebound when Tobias Harris got up an air ball. That was a difference maker in the game. The ball went right to him, and he ended up laying it up for the and one. That was to me, that was the biggest play of the game right there. The Celtics had momentum. They were up by 3. They came all the way back. for him to get that and get his boxes man out and get that rebound and put it back up and in, that that kind of kept the game going and kept the game alive and kind of sunk it to overtime and to James Harden hit that 3-point jump shot to pretty much win the ball game. But PJ Tucker is a phenomenal player. He's a dog. He's a locker room presence. And if you telling Joel Embiid, someone that's an MVP in this league, quit playing like a soft B, hey, tell him.
Yeah, bro. See, another thing that makes me really like, 'cause I loved that 2017-18 Sixers team when it was Embiid, Simmons, and Butler. I that series versus the Raptors, I thought the Sixers were going to win it all. And obviously that ended up being completely different hindsight in 2020, but I thought they were going to win it all. PJ brings that Butler energy to the Sixers, right? Just that Miami culture, just a little bit. The Sixers at the beginning of the season talked about toughness and, wanting to be able to be a tougher team. This is it. PJ Tucker is making that difference, like you said, right now and earning every dollar, every penny of that $10 million contract. I mean, who in their right mind is paying a 38-year-old $10 million for 3 years? Yep. Nobody, except the Sixers, because he deserves it. We found that out. This whole series, even the last series against the Nets, where they swept them, bring out the broom, where they swept them. PJ is great. He doesn't need to score. He doesn't need to get 100 rebounds. He doesn't need to get the assists. He does everything not in the box score. And that is why he gets $10 million. I just love PJ so much, man.
Yeah, I love him too.
Yeah, I love that, man. Now, as far as it comes to the Suns and Nuggets, I'm not going to lie to you, I really got nothing to say. Jokic is just crazy. I saw that Jokic had his 4th triple-double this postseason. Put up like 29, 11, and 10 as per usual. He averaged a triple-double throughout the regular season, and you can make an argument for him to be MVP. I wouldn't even be mad. I'm glad Embiid did win it, but you can make an argument that's very valid for Jokic to have won MVP, and I wouldn't have been mad. I have no idea how Jokic, the all-starless team, is beating the Suns, who have Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, and Kevin Durant. But it looks like it's Kevin Durant, because if it's not Curry, he can't win. I don't know what is going on with KD. He's had a so-so playoff series. I know he had 39 points, but bro shot like 41% from the field, 39% from the field. I don't know what's going on with him. And Booker has to drop 47 multiple times for them to win a game. He had, I think, a 42-point game and then a 47-point game for them to have their only 2 wins. Booker can't drop 100 points per game. He needs help. Torrey Craig, I thought, was an answer to kind of guarding Aaron Gordon. That was not the case in Game 3. Obviously, they ended up winning that game. But Aaron Gordon was dropping threes, and Aaron Gordon is not that great of a shooter. He is a high flyer, dunker spot man, and he sets a hard screen. He can roll, right? And he can finish layup-wise, but he's not acrobatic with it, He's just a physical, big man. He go in the paint, he bully you, and he score, This Nuggets team is good, and I haven't got to Jamal Murray yet. I mean, averaging 20-plus per game. I think he had a 40-point game. He's had multiple games where he's had at least 3 threes made. Jamal Murray from the bubble looks like he's coming back. I got nothing but respect for Murray able to come back from his injury and then play solid throughout the season and then just like a switch, just like Butler, like Donovan Mitchell, just turn it on in the offseason. Definitely.
The key to Denver's success is Michael Porter Jr. If this guy can be more consistent, Michael Porter Jr., and this Denver team can be very dangerous. You got Bruce Brown scoring 25 tonight. 25 points tonight. That's a lot of points. They end up blowing them out. They end up pretty much blowing them out. But again, Mike Malone, kind of must have told the Denver Nuggets something after those last 2 games with Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant did a number on them in Phoenix. He must have told them something. They came out focused tonight. And like I say, man, I got Denver into the finals with Boston, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen if Boston don't win Game 6. Don't win Game 6 tomorrow night. It doesn't look like that. They don't win Game 6. But other than that, Denver is a good team, man. Denver is a good team. I like Michael Porter Jr. You got KCP, who's already a champion on this team, who's already a champion. He's a vet in the locker room. LA, and you got Grandpa Jeff Green still can fly. Grandpa Jeff Green still can fly above the rim, man. But that dude to be that old, by like 50 years old, going out there and flying, and he still got some springs on him. He still got some jumpies on him.
You do, man. Didn't in the regular season, didn't Uncle Jeff, man, have a poster?
Yep, he had a poster in the playoffs.
Oh, in the playoffs.
Yeah, and against Phoenix in game 1, he had a poster.
Dang, bro, man, I just love Uncle Jeff. I loved the bubble season we had with him when he was 35 playing with us at that's power forward center role with Robert Covington.
I remember when we first actually got him, he was hot, man. He couldn't miss a three. When we first got him, he couldn't miss. He couldn't miss at all.
He was pulling out Usman Grubo, where it was just 100% from three for like the first week. Oh man, shout out Uzi, bro. But yeah, man, I love Uncle Jeff. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't actually be mad because we'll transfer into free agency here soon. I wouldn't be mad if we ended up picking up Uncle Jeff as a potential veteran. I'm just kind of wrangling the boys at least for a half a season. I wouldn't mind him for a full season, but half a season would be fine. We can end up trading him for a second pick or something like that, because he doesn't do anything, any one thing like phenomenal, but he does everything. He's like an older OG Anunoby, that's kind of how I think of him. He's a 3D guy, but he can finish, obviously. He can finish, get you boards and defend 1 through 5. Love Jeff. I like how I spent more time on Uncle Jeff than I did Jokic. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Kevin Durant. Goodbye. Man, I was really hoping for the Suns and Lakers to play in the playoffs. That way LeBron could beat KD and Curry separately, so he could beat the Golden State. But
Yep.
So yeah, Golden State and Lakers. We got Lakers, right? Like we got LA, right? Like the 3-1.
Yep. I had Golden State in 7 games because, again, like I said, I didn't see that too many times. I mean, they was up against us. We was up against them. They were able to fight back through adversity, come back and win. You remember that when they were down 3-1 against OKC, they were able to come back and win, man. When we thought OKC was, we all said OKC for the get them, man.
Yep.
All of a sudden, Klay Thompson has one of those game 6s that you can't stop remembering if you're an OKC fan, and Curry had one of those game 7s at the end of them. And like I say again, Curry goes into halftime with no points, and then he comes out and scorches us to death with about 26 in the second.
Yeah.
What a memory that we got to remember right now.
Yeah, man, that's a dagger. Talk about daggers, bro. I know Curry be dropping daggers, but that was a dagger right here, man.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy right there. But again, Lakers got their foot on their necks, and LeBron even said it after the show, after the game last night, when they don't win without Lonnie Walker. And Lonnie Walker was great in that fourth quarter, man. He hit some big time shots on Steph Curry. Curry played some great defense, but hey, that great offense overwhelmed them right there. But LeBron even said it after the interview: we don't win without Lonnie Walker, and they don't. And he said we don't come out with the right mindset in Golden State. We already know what we up against, but if we don't come out with the right mindset, they're gonna blow our asses right up out of this gym, man. You want to get the series over as quickly as you can, and when you have an opportunity, because you don't want to give the Golden State Warriors 9 lives. You definitely don't want to give them a life. Give them a life to breathe. So each time you have an opportunity, you got to finish them off.
Yeah, you got to take it, man, because not that Golden State like scares me for the Lakers, but like they just match up so well in terms of like they are the complete opposite. I mean, the Lakers dominate the paint, and the Golden State Warriors dominate the mid-range and 3-point shooting. It's just how they play, right? And the Lakers are just, first, you got LeBron, right? He is now the all-time leading scorer in the playoffs officially. He passed Kareem with the sky hook. Just a heads up. That was awesome. And now he's the all-time leading scorer in the playoffs and regular season. Absolutely phenomenal. Not to mention that he's just so good, And then Anthony Davis, who was playing like defensive player of the year, by the way. He got snubbed from all defensive. He didn't even make all defensive teams second. Just want to put that out there. AD playing like the best defensive player in the entire league right now against Golden State. You see him lock up Curry, man. He locked up Curry those last few seconds, man.
He did.
My gosh. Reminiscence of Kevin Love Game 7, right?
Yep.
Curry's trying to dribble, right? Ends up pulling a mid-range. AD clamped his ass, right? They somehow get the rebound over Dennis Schroeder because Dennis Schroeder is literally 4 foot tall. Draymond, instead of laying it up, just passes it back out to Curry.
Yep.
Draymond could have gotten an and one. But no, he pulled a Ben Simmons and no one's talking about it. Gave it back to Curry for Curry to fumble the bag and brick again against AD. Bro, AD, bro. I just got to give it up, man.
Yeah,
oh, my gosh, bro.
That was great defense.
Oh, my gosh. And like you said, Lonnie Walker, too, bro. 15 points in the fourth by himself to the Golden State Warriors 17. He almost outscored Golden State by himself. And he came off the bench because Malik Beasley playing like garbage.
Yep, he was out of the rotation from the half of the year. He was out of rotation from the start of the year. He was a part of rotation, and at the end of the year, and starting these playoffs, he was out of the rotation. Malik Beasley was just play like ass, and he had to get back in. And he's been delivering.
Yeah, man, I'm really glad that, and especially if I won't talk about it necessarily, but if anyone knows there's story behind Lonnie Walker and him cutting his hair and all that, I mean, he's just such a strong-willed person, and for him to be able to fight through adversity and then keep his jersey just ready. I mean, he came right out the cleaners for this game. You know that for a fact. He had that waiting to come out and show why he deserved that MLE contract. Lonnie Walker, bro, I mean, just absolutely hats off to you. Thank you for killing Golden State. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I can't give you enough props. Lonnie Walker went crazy, like we said, and then Austin Reeves, great, as per usual.
He's gonna be getting him some money this offseason.
Oh yeah. If he has another 25 game in this playoffs, he's probably gonna be making almost as much as Jalen Brunson, probably that $80 million. No cap. And then right before we move on to free agency, I want to talk about D'Lo, who shot 1 for 10, bro. I don't know why LA didn't end up trying to get Mike Conley, right? I feel like Mike Conley would have been great for them because not that he provides the shooting, but it's the playmaking aspect, right? Like D'Lo is a scoring, like at his heart, he is a 2-guard. D'Lo is a 2-guard. But he plays point because he's 6'4" and super skinny, can't defend, right? That's fine. That's fine. He's a great combo guard. I'm not going to discredit him. He saw what we did with the Nets, right? He became a fantastic scoring guard who could play make because of Kenny Atkinson. And then he uses that ability throughout the Wolves, excuse me, 2 different animals here, through the Wolves, and then came to LA and was, the main focal point of the offense in terms of being the lead guard. But I would have liked Conley for this team if he was like 2 years younger. 32, been fantastic alongside LeBron. But D'Lo, 1 for 10. Please be better next game so that way you can whoop Curry, bro. Because he was getting so many open shots, bro. You letting Curry clamp you up, bro? Who is Curry? Is way down here for you. Clamp him up, bro. You taller. No. I will give props to Curry. Not that I will ever do this, but I give props to Curry. He had a triple-double with 14 assists. Curry wanted to win. Just didn't want to win bad enough.
Man, he shot 3 for 14 from the 3. He shot rough.
0 for 2 in the clutch.
He shot
man, I was choking out here, man. I was posting all over the Reggie Miller choking meme, bro. He was choking hard. But hey, didn't he miss a couple free throws in the clutch too, man? Curry just Curry is not clutch, man. Whatever. Oh my gosh. So we was talking about some free agency stuff a little bit ago. Let's move on to that. Before we close, just some quick free agency thoughts here. I know everyone's been talking about getting Cameron Johnson on our team. Signing him would be very beneficial. Signing Grant Williams. I have a question. Is there a world where you would want Mitchell Robinson on the Houston Rockets as a backup center?
No. I wouldn't want him as a backup center. I don't think he will be opposed to playing backup center. I don't think he will be opposed to playing backup center at all. I just think for this team, we need a little more shooting. I want a little more shooting a part of this team. I know whoever we draft may end up in a starting role a little bit. I don't think KJ will end up as a starter. any way it goes. I think the original lineup still will be Jabari Smith, Jabari Smith, Jalen Green, Michael Porter Jr., and Al P. But again, who we gonna fit in the fifth spot? Who we gonna fit in the fifth spot that we have? I don't think it will be Eason. I think Eason should be nominee to that fifth spot. I don't think it will be KJ because he doesn't space the floor out pretty well. I would think whoever we draft, that's who will be the starter. That's who will be the starter, or it depends on who we get in free agency. Probably so will be the starter. So if we get a Brandon Miller, who I actually want, me and Pastor campaign for, if we get him, he may would end up be the starting three. But we definitely need a three that's gonna start, that's gonna come in and start right away. I don't think I wouldn't surprise. I would not be surprised if we throw Eason in there to be a starter. I would not be surprised. But other than that, I would say whoever we draft that out of Scoot or somebody or Brandon Miller, that I will say that's who beats the starter. And Eason, KJ Martin come off the bench. And I would love some shooting though. I would really love some shooting. I have multiple free agency that we can throw out there. Or we get Cameron Johnson. He's a starter. You plug him in.
Yep.
He's a starter. He's going to be a starter. No doubt. No ifs, ands, buts about it. He's a starter. You bring him in. $90 million. I heard he's linked to the Rockets a lot. So
yes,
it will be. I wouldn't be. I think he will be. I think two people will be a Rocket in this free agency. I think it's a good chance Cam Johnson be's a Rocket. Good chance Grant Williams comes up a Rocket because he knows Ime Udoka. He knows what he wants to do. And I would say one more guy could actually be a Rocket, but I'm afraid this guy's going to want money. He's going to want killer money. Or I want a starting point guard coming off the bench. Tyus Jones. I would love him.
Yes, bro.
I would love Tyus Jones to be a backup point guard. Plus, I'm not going to lie. I would love him to be a backup point guard. Someone that can shoot, that can run the offense. Someone that's not turnover prone a lot. He does a very good job of taking care of the ball. I would love Tyus Jones to come in to be a backup point guard. Or if KJ Martin goes out, that's a guy that you can start instantly. That's a guy that you can start instantly and put in the lineup. You won't lose anything. You won't lose shooting. You'll lose a little more athleticism. You'll lose a lot of athleticism, but you get probably a better 3-point shooter. You get a better guy that take care of the ball. That's going to get guys open shots. Or again, I think I asked you this question, but how would you feel about a Gary Trent Jr. for the Rockets? Like off the bench, not as a starter, off the bench though.
Yeah, so I remember you asking me this last pod, and I was against it, but man, I started looking at it, and it's like Gary Trent off the bench. I wouldn't be opposed to that. A solid, again, 2 steals a game, a good defender, right? He can play passing lanes pretty well. He's a great zone guy. He's going to work well in an Udoka-led defense and offense. He's a fantastic shooter. He can score at all 3 levels, and he's pretty vocal on defense. I would not mind. So now I'm going to reverse this question on you. If we ended up getting Cameron Johnson, Grant Williams, Gary Trent Jr., and Tyus Jones with our $60 million cap off space, that's an A+.
That's an A, man.
Dude.
Hey, we already in consideration to be a playing tournament team.
Tournament.
Plus the rookie that we're going to draft. Whoever we're going to draft, you put him in the fold. But again, we do need a starting 3 guard because I don't think unless you you feel good about Tari throwing him in there. But we do need a starter at the small forward position. But it's going to start, see what we get in free agency. And I think it's a great chance that we get 2 or 3 guys in free agency. It's a great chance. I think Cameron Johnson, I think if we had a chance to get him, we can, that's a possibility. I think Grant Williams a big possibility for Ime Udoka. They're going to look into that. I wouldn't mind if we get, like you said, a Tyus Jones or someone, but I definitely want more shooting coming off the bench and more veteran leadership. And whoever we draft, or Brandon Miller, Scoot Henderson, or something like that. I don't think Wemby actually makes sense for us because I don't want to draft another center and have to throw Şengün on the bench.
He can play power forward. We can drop.
Yeah, but I don't want to put Jabari Smith on the bench. I don't want to put him on the bench.
Jabari plays the 3.
Jabari plays a three, but at this day and age, I think he's more of a power forward. I don't think he's a good enough dribbler to play a three. I don't think Jabari is a strong enough ball handler to play a three. Like Brandon Miller will fit that mold perfectly. He will fit that perfectly to be a starting three guard. Or Cameron Johnson, he can be a three guard, but it just depends on free agency who we get though. But I think we need the three. I think we do need to stop solid three.
Facts. So before we end off here, if we draft Scoot, does KPJ move to the 3 as a starter, or is he our 6th man?
I think some way we start him.
You think he starts at the 3?
Yes, I think he still start. I think Jalen Green or even Kevin Porter goes to the 3.
I just can't see. I can't see Jalen moving to the 3 because he's such he's not like small, but he's just so thin, right? He doesn't have the size. Yes. He's got the lateral movement, like he's quick. He does not have the size at all that would allow him to play the 3. If anything, in a 1 through 3, I could see Scoot, because Scoot is 6'6", like 220, I think 222. Yeah. I mean, you see that picture where he's like flexing.
You put the bigger person at the 3, you definitely could do it. You definitely can do it like that. But I prefer a traditional 3, like a Brandon Miller. He's 6'7", can do everything. Can do it. Give it to you however you need it. 3-point shooting, defense. He reminds me of prototypical Paul George. Is this guy? He's a prototypical guy like that. That's why I'm Pastor campaigning for him so much. Or Keontae George from Baylor, and we somehow drop in the draft. I would love Keontae George out of Baylor. He's another guy that we can get in the draft. But like I say, I think we need actually throw out a traditional 3. Depends on who Ime Udoka. How he feels, and what players is best available for him. Which is if we drop the 3, we're gonna have a great shot at getting Brandon Miller. That's our range. But if you love him at 2, you go ahead and get him. If you love him at 2, I would trust Ime Udoka, and I know Ime Udoka is gonna have some power on the pick. He's got power already. He's gonna have. To be honest, we can agree. He got some power. He got some say so. Who he want to go get. Who he wants in the free agency market. Steven Silas, that already been clear. He didn't have no power. He was a yes man. He was a yes man, and we've been saying that all year long. And especially I came out with, I think he's a puppet, and it turned out that he was a puppet. Now, Ime Udoka got a lot of power because he's been there. He's been a part of the NBA Finals team. You gotta have. We all can agree. Whole Houston Nation can agree that he has a lot of power of who he wants to pick and who he wants to pick. What players does he want in free agency? Coaching staff. He already got permission. Hey, if you want to keep some of the guys on the coaching staff, you can. But if you want your own coaches, hey, you go do you. So that tells you what type of power. Raphael Stone already gave him power.
Facts. No, absolutely facts. Well said, man. I just can't wait to see what this team is going to look like after free agency, after we draft, man. I'm so excited. If we end up keeping our pick from the Clippers, I would love for us to pick up Chris Murray. He's an NBA-ready guy, and I feel like he could contribute. If we're talking 2K ratings, not that we do that too often here, but we talk about NBA 2K ratings, bro will come out and be a 76 overall, right? Just a guy who's going to come in and contribute at an all right efficiency, at an all right level, and play all around game, I'll be absolutely fine with that. I think he's 23, 24 years old, so, he'd be an older rookie, and we're not expecting him to develop into some sort of, GOAT type player. But taking him at 19 for someone who's going to be NBA ready, that you're not going to have to worry about development, I think would be a great project for us. And again, we got Udoka coming in, to, change the entire landscape of our team, man. I'm so excited. So I will say that let's end up finishing it off with the tankathons, man. How do you feel about that?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, right?
Let's do it.
All right, man. Let's do it, man. All right, let's take a look. All right, so this is what we got going on here. Again, it's counting down from the days, hours, minutes, and seconds until the draft. And don't worry, I got my calendar marked as well, and I got an alarm set for it. I can't wait. You want Brandon Miller. I'm not even going to tell you what I'm feeling, but we feeling it, right? I'm feeling it tonight. I feel a little lucky.
Brandon Miller. I'm feeling Brandon Miller a lot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad when we get Scoot, though. I wouldn't actually be mad at all, though.
Facts, man. Facts. Let's run it up here.
We fall to the dang, man. Come on.
5,
hey,
bro.
Come on, man. Come on, basketball guys. Don't do us to it. Don't do that to us, man.
Gosh. Dallas moves all the way up to 1. Luka, Kyrie, and Wemby. Bro.
Come on, basketball guys. Don't do us like that, man.
Oh
do
my
us like that.
goodness. That's disgusting, bro. I can't believe the NBA just did that to us, bro. That's what God's, man. They just hate us, bro. It's just indicative to the Houston Rockets season, is it not, to get the 5th pick? So Dante, man, I think it's time to go. You know, you guys can find us. You can find me personally at drip2ps_GAWD on Twitter and Instagram. You can find this channel at the H-Town Rundown. You can also find this guy here at Coach Dante 31 on Twitter and on Instagram as well. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on this show, guys. Let us know your thoughts on free agency. Let us know your thoughts on what you think about for the player grades on the end of the season here. And give us your thoughts on what you think we're going to do for Stephen Silas for his grade. Thank you guys for joining us today. Dante, do you have any closing thoughts before we go?
Hey man, great show, man. Can't wait, man. I'm already ready for free agency for this season to be over with. In the draft, I'm already ready. I'm very excited because, man, we got to be happy as Rockets fans, man. We seeing a new regime. We got a coach that's going to come in here and get the best up out of these players, that's going to hold these players accountable. And we're going to have a coach that has really good control of his team and this organization. And like I say, man, get ready, man, because I feel something good coming this season. And once we get ready for free agency and get a couple of these guys out of free agency and finish off the draft, trust me, man, we're going to have a great process and a great season, man. Trust and believe. We got the right guy for this team.
I don't want to say trust the process or anything like that because we've seen how the process worked over in Philly. But hashtag pray for Victor, guys. Get your prayers in there. Basketball gods, we appreciate you, and we appreciate you guys as well. Thank you guys for watching today. Have a good one. Bye.
Go get Brandon Miller, coach.